What's up, y'all? It is 9:11 p.m. and my roommates are gonna be here soon. So, I'm here to talk about my life struggles, what I've been going through the last couple of months, my journey, and stuff like that. So, I thought, I was thinking, what format should I have this in? Because I I mean, earlier on when this used to be a frequent thing, I used to just pick up the. I just pick up my camera and I just start talking, right? And I got like decent at it, but now I feel like it's difficult. I feel like it's really difficult because it just doesn't come naturally to me anymore. Or I wouldn't say it doesn't come naturally. I just feel like it's it's more difficult for me to go through that whole process of entering the flow state while talking about a single topic. But yeah, anyway, I can see the mess in the background. Like it's pretty bad. You see this, right? It's pretty bad. But what I'm basically gonna do, I'm gonna grab my journal and I'm gonna go through a few pages in front of you. And I'm just gonna pick a topic that I feel like talking about, and hopefully it's gonna make sense. It's gonna be cohesive. And I'm really just doing this video for the sake of documenting what's been going on. As a checkpoint for myself to see later on. But yeah. Okay. I got here in July, I think. I mean, at the start, I was pretty keen on journaling every single day. I was pretty keen on writing something every day in my journal. I was following a rosebud thorn sort of format. It's like your rose, which if you haven't tried, this is a really good format. But I've not had the discipline to. I just haven't been disciplined enough in my journaling, so it kind of tapered off early on in the first couple of weeks. But basically, the rose is something that you liked about your day. The bud is something that has potential, something that you're looking forward to. And the thorn is something that you didn't like, something you didn't like about the day, something that you maybe could do better, right? And yeah, so I realized that in the first couple of weeks I was really stressed for when I'd be sitting in my room, because I was like, none of everything is organized. I don't have a routine yet. I'm not really going to the gym consistently. And the first couple of weeks, there were like the first week was, it was just induction. So every single day we had just something fun going on. And it was really cool. And it's been just over 3 months since our classes started, and our first semester is going to be over in a few days. And it feels surreal. It feels super super weird because like it's been such a short time, and I'm already kind of through my first year. It's kind of absurd, but I think I've definitely grown a lot. I've learned a lot about my myself, especially in the last couple of days. Holy shit! Um, I've learned a lot about friendships. I've learned a lot about people. I've learned a lot about how the average person works. Although I don't think a design college is a good representation of an average, but I think it. I think design colleges have a different kind of crowd. There's different kinds of people that go there, and yeah, and these people tend to lean towards a creative side, a more alternate sort of way of thinking, especially in a country like India where a lot of very, what's the word, where a kind of thinking is promoted that's very linear. It's very one dimensional, right? It's just work hard, because what I tend to see is that there's there's a framework that that it seems to be the culture that people believe that there's two factors that determine your success in life in India, and this is from what I've seen, to some extent what I've heard. It One of them is aptitude, your natural talent or whatever, and second is how hard you work. And to some extent both are true, because both definitely exist, but essentially the mindset that gets inculcated is that because your aptitude is something that just exists, it's just natural, you must you can't do anything about it, so that stays constant. That's a constant variable. But the changing variable is obviously how hard you work. So that's why everything is always about work hard and you will reap the benefits of your rewards. But the way I see it is that to get from point A to point B, say physics, right? To get for particle A, for a particle to get from point A to point B, of course it can move, and it can go in one of 360 different uh, angles, right? But there's just one of those 360 that'll actually make it land on the spot, and of course there's multiple directions that'll get it close enough, right? But I hope you all are able to visualize this. But yeah, it you need direction, right? Because you can't just close your eyes and just start working and expect to reach the point where you want to reach, you know. And of course, working hard in regardless of what field you're in, what direction you're going in, it'll get you somewhere, right? It'll move you. It'll definitely, it might bring you to point B, it might bring you to point C or D or E, and that may be better or worse depending on what you think. But yeah, essentially, it's movement multiplied by direction is equal to success for me. Movement multiplied by direction multiplied by maybe potential, aptitude. I think that's a formula that y'all could think about. Maybe elaborate on it. Maybe add a couple more factors. But yeah, I have my jury coming up in a few days, in about a week, and I have a lot of work. So this is my so basically, if you didn't know, in design college you have these things called juries, which are, so we don't really have um, exam papers. Like, we do have exam papers, but they account for, I think, 20 or 30% of our total grade. I think even 10 or 15%, I'm not sure. But the juries, one sec, I gotta sneeze. These juries are basically presentations of all of your output over the semester or whatever time period they've given. And yeah, you just have to show your work and you have to present it, and a couple of jurors are there who are, one of them is a professor, one of them is someone from outside, and they basically go through your work, ask you questions, and yeah, you just gotta talk a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of how design colleges work for the most part. So yeah, we have that kind of system, and my first jury didn't go that well. Like, I got sat down and one of my teachers, he just talked to me for a while, and I was like, okay. And there's a lot to improve on. I feel like I've not been as focused as I want to, and I'm not. And I was really worried earlier on, but now I feel like I'm starting to get to the flow of things. Like I've been the most consistent with my meditation since I got here, in the last 1 or 2 weeks, and that's a good feeling. Even though I haven't been meditating that well, I've been relatively pretty distracted actually while I'm meditating for whatever reason. But at least I'm showing up. At least I'm trying to meditate. I've been getting some level of work done recently, and yeah, I've started setting. I One thing I realized was that my meals were taking so long, so I started setting timers for how long I spend having a meal, and yeah. When it comes to friendships, I feel like I've learned a lot from the people around me. One thing I've definitely learned that I just continue to learn is that no matter how hard you try to categorize people, which I do, and I believe in categorizing people, you can never find the perfect fit for a box. Because I think there's people with so much nuance. Especially, maybe it's a design college thing, maybe it's an in general thing, maybe I just don't know the people that I categorize into these perfect boxes for their shape and size. But I think people are so nuanced. There's so many layers of nuance. There's so many roses and thorns and buds that people have, and it's interesting to see how they develop over time, how people interact with audiences. I feel like college is such a strange place to live in. It's so unnatural. I was telling Prachi this, one of my friends, that you're not built to kind of be around so many people of the same age at the same time. Like there's hundreds and hundreds of people here, just in the design branch. There's thousands in the whole university, and it's it's kind of a it's so strange because you're not see the thing is, even in cities, humans aren't our brains haven't been evolved to live in entire cities, because if you think about it, you walk past dozens and dozens of people. Some of them you even make eye contact and you don't smile at them. Now you don't have to be friends with everyone, but I'm not saying that your brain has this desire to sort people into one of two groups, and this is the in group and the out group, one of these two. And the in group is essentially someone who's your ally, someone who you can share resources with, someone who will help you in your survival. And people in your out group are people who are against you, people who are trying to find or do something that is going to uh, they're trying to steal your resources. Basically, steal they're trying to take away your chance of survival, and they're gonna lower your ability to reproduce and pass on your genetics. And yeah, essentially it's that. It's you when you walk past someone and you're just looking at them, and they look back and they just walk past you, it feels uncomfortable. That's why so many people avert their gaze while they're walking. And I don't think any people really think about this too much, but these these people need to be sorted into one of two groups. And obviously it's always nicer because we don't really need to fight for resources. It's always a good idea to smile at someone when you make eye contact. I like recently I've been just like giving head nods to guys when I walk past them. I've It might be a little weird if I smile at girls that I've never talked to before, uh, But I don't know. And I think it's a little bit different with girls as well. But yeah. Um. Yeah. Hmm. There's been a lot of little moments um, in college where I've been like, holy shit! If Parth and Rudra and Aryan were there, we'd have like a 2 hour long discussion on it. We talk so much about it. And that's something I definitely miss. I miss the slow pace, the calm nature of having three guy friends, and it's just that it's just these three dudes who I just talk to when I feel like, and everything, and I spend the rest of my time just ruminating, just thinking about things, and I let it out at some point, and it's a very interesting feeling. Um, it's a really cool feeling. It makes me feel incredible after I'm done with these conversations, and I miss it a lot. I feel like I'm really seeking that. Not what it's like. It's a level above what people like to call deep conversations. So a lot of people here, from what I seem to understand, a deep conversation is talking about their current state of life. It's talking about what they want from relationships, how they feel about their family and stuff. That's for me. I feel like at this point that's a lot of normal conversation, and I think it serves as a spiral because it makes me. The thing that happens is that I treat this conversation like normal conversation, so people feel more comfortable having this conversation. Because one thing I've realized is that, especially after coming here, and this is such a good tip if you're trying to socialize more and make more friends, people will only feel uncomfortable if you are making them feel like they should be uncomfortable. So if you're going up to someone and you're apologizing 2 or 3 times before you start talking to them, that's unless that person is super empathetic and super chill and super well versed in social interaction, they're gonna feel weirded out by it, and it's just gonna make your whole experience worse. What I've learned is the best thing you can do is to just go up to someone and just be blatant, be in their face, but at the same time be friendly, be nice, be polite, shake their hand, do ask them their name, be super nice to them, ask them about themselves. It's it's helped me a lot. I've been able to just go up to people and talk to them if I think they look interesting. Um, I know a lot of my few of my friends here are afraid of it, but yeah. Initially, I was kind of in denial over the fact uh, that I wasn't going to find such intelligent, like-minded people like Parth and Ruth and Aryan. But over time, I realized that if I had just stuck to those 2 or 3 people, I would have grown. I don't know if I would have grown in only one direction, or I wouldn't have grown at all, because um, part of what I want to achieve in life is this ability to be dynamic. So I I realized that being around different kinds of people from different backgrounds with different goals and different resources to share, it teaches you so much. It it develops it develops your brain in ways that you didn't think it could be developed. For example, I had to go out with a research project for this one guy, and with this guy, there's a slight language barrier. He's been brought up in a different kind of household. He speaks differently. He acts differently. His values are kind of different when it comes to friendships, and